on YouTube? It's going to be Donnie coming to you from Pinku Style Massage, Japan. I got one of the most important guests I'm probably going to ever have on this show, no matter who comes on. This is my mother right here, Lisa Smith. Well, sorry about that. They already messed up. It's been a while. So your current name is, how do you say your last name? Weddington?
Yes, Weddington.
Weddington. All right, so this is my mom right here. Everybody coming out there. Again, it's live, so I don't do editing. I just put it in there. But yeah, guys out there, I've been around now for 37 years, and this lady right here that you see is the person that made me, one of the people responsible for making me. And so yeah, it's probably going to be a little bit weird because we've talked a lot, but it's been in a process of parenting. We talk, but it's kind of it's always weird when a podcast have their parent on there because it's like you grew up together, all the stuff you went through. Some things people know about, some things they don't need to know about, and everything like that. So right now, the biggest thing I want to get into, because of course everything's going on worldwide with all this COVID, Corona stuff. How's everything going right now for you and work and everything and everything around you?
Well, right now it's a very busy time for me. I am at home working. I've been home for about a month now. It has been quite challenging in that we're just not used to this. So I am literally doing work at home, school at home, and church at home. Yeah. So those are three separate entities that I'm having to finagle through. On a good day, I could have done all three. Yeah. Actually, to be honest, this week for me was a little frustrating because work want me to do something, school want me to do something, church want me to do something, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing everything, and there's a whole bunch of directions here, directions there, directions here. So it gets to be a good bit. People think because you're home, you just chilling, but when you have a job, going to school, working on my master's program, and I'm a leader in my church, I'm very busy right now.
Right. And that's what I figure everybody's going through right now, because a lot of people outside looking in, they seem like, everybody's talking about chilling home and watching Netflix and catching up on stuff. And I guess for that first week it was cool, but now everybody's seeing like you staying home, you're not getting anything done, and it's inconvenienced to everything. So it's over here. Japan is kind of getting on it late because they were trying to, the Olympics just got canceled, right?
Yes.
So they canceled the Olympics because they were, Japan they're very prideful people, but they try to hide stuff. And they were hiding it because they wanted it to go on. They wanted to host the Olympics because they were going to do like this grand opening and all this stuff. They had everything planned. And now, plus they're athletes and all that. Some athletes are getting too old, so another 4 years or whatever, they're not going to be able to compete. So right after that got announced, the numbers went up for the people who were affected by COVID. So they were hiding it, So it was kind of ironic that as soon as they canceled the Olympics, the next day the numbers got reported and they were very elevated. So I've been staying away from Tokyo. If I go there, I'll go there quickly and leave.
Yes.
Where we at, Nomori is luckily is very spaced out, and there's a lot of good clean air and everything. So there's not a lot of cases up here, so we're pretty good. Nobody's sick and everything. I'm good.
Awesome.
So that's that's of course I know you're probably worried about that a little bit, and
yes, I was.
Yeah, so it's all good over here. With the whole springtime is coming, and normally the China dust blows over here, so I don't know if that's gonna raise up, but normally around springtime the stuff blows over. So hopefully that stuff stays over there, it gets washed out over the sea, and we'll be good. But I'm just just getting some sleep and taking vitamins, so we're good, man. But anyway, the purpose of the the podcast again is just to catch up with you, see what everything is going on, everything. And again, of course, a lot of my viewers they see me, but they never see my parents. So I'm pretty sure they're like intrigued about how everything was growing up. So for you, man, like what growing up, like just tell me a little bit about how everything was growing up and where you lived and stuff like that, and I guess school to when you went to college and stuff like that.
Okay, well, for me, I grew up in Baltimore. I am a Baltimore native. Yeah. I am a school buff, so I primarily lived on the east side of town, even though I went to the west side a lot. Mm-hmm. Once I came out of high school, I went to a business school, Eastern High School, located around our old stadium in Baltimore. And once I graduated from there. I attended business school. And from that, I actually went into business administration. So I did finance accounting for 20 years.
Mm.
Somewhere along the line, I became a housewife for the second time. That was the first time I got into being in the school system as a teacher. I always said from the second grade that I wanted to be a teacher. So I felt like that very gift that I should be walking in had opened up for me. I've done that for a couple years. A lot of change came in the Baltimore City school system. So I ended up having to go back to my finance accountant because my grown boys, which was you and William, went off to college and we needed money.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I can make money quickly in the finance accounting area. So I went back to that. And then when I got that job in 2009, I started my career in education full time in June of 2009. I started as a sub, immediately became an assistant teacher, less than a year, or lead teacher. And within 4 years, I was in management and administration as program coordinator. And in March of 2019, I became a regional compliance coordinator for my job.
Okay.
So I have been very blessed in the education field, and I'm now pursuing my master's. I've done a whole year. At the end of this semester, I have one more year to go, and I will be getting a master's degree in human services, concentration, and family counseling.
All right. So pretty much around the time I came along, like where were you? You know, you were what, 16, correct, when you had me, correct?
I had you like a month or two shy of 17. Yes.
17. So like, I mean, in that point, you were still 17. That's what. That's still you were still high school, correct?
I was still in high school.
Right.
Yes.
So like you had, I mean, before I come along and all that stuff, what was your immediate plans at that? You know, before you got pregnant, what was your plans? You know, for the end of that senior year and everything.
One thing about me is that I was always focused, even as a teenager. So you never altered my plans.
Right.
I knew I was going to stay in school, which I did. I graduated on time. The only thing I did differently, because I had you, was that my counselor offered me an opportunity to do 1 year of business school so I can get right into my career as opposed to doing 4 years in college. And it was definitely well worth it. Like I said, I was already working for prominent companies like Maryland National Bank, which is now Bank of America today.
Yeah.
I worked for McCormick and Company. I worked for, I just had very good jobs. So I don't have no regrets. God has always blessed me. And I just stayed the course, you know. So for me, it wasn't no altering. By 22, I was married out of my mama's house. And then I would have 3 more siblings for you because you were the only child to 5.5 years old. But I don't have no regrets about how I moved because God always blessed me. So even though I went into business administration and finance accounting, he brought me full circle back to where I am right now, and that's in education, which I have been doing a total of now about 13, 14 years.
Okay. And in education, because I asked you before, what ages are you primarily focused on?
Okay. For me now, where I'm working now is primarily ages infancy up and through 5 years old. I personally, again, I've been out the classroom for 5 years now. I've been in administration, so I've had as many as 25 teachers under me, to include teachers, volunteers, subs. And like I said, this new position I have now, I'm actually, I keep the directors in compliance. So I only actually manage if I'm stepping in for a director.
Okay.
If I'm not stepping in for a director. So for me, I'm in the main administration building. I'm not even in the same place in the center anymore. So I'm very happy. I'm getting older, so I like the fact that I have my office in another whole building. I sit with the CEOs and the COOs and all the O's and that.
Yeah.
I sat right on the same side they sit on. So, hey, I can't complain.
Yeah. But no, I
Yeah.
definitely, man. Like, it's that's the one thing, growing up and everything. We would talk, and I had my guy Jason Murphy on last time. I don't know if you've seen that one. He played for the Ravens and
Yes.
everything. And one of the things I pointed out, one thing you always told me, you were saying, like, my if I allow it to go that way, my downfall will be not allowing people to help me. And that was one of the things, in college. You always said it in college. I kind of didn't want to get a tutor. I was stubborn about that because I figured I can do it on my own and stuff like that. But I definitely, my character traits, like how you're determined, definitely, I'm pretty sure I picked that up from you and different things like that. So, growing up, one of the things, most kids don't ever get to say it to their parents, but definitely mine. Like, you're definitely a major factor in what how I am today, what I do today, the business and all that stuff, how I run myself, how I conduct myself, and the morals that I have and the way I deal with people. And it's funny that most people out there, they are used to dealing. They want drama, like they want to deal half cocked, and they don't want to be straight and direct. And when I hit guys straight and direct on my business, they're like, man, you're being too aggressive or you're too mean. I'm like, no, I'm avoiding BS. I don't want to deal with that. We got to deal with it. And I got that. I've been in some of the I've been around you some of the times you talk on the phone and you start off polite and then it gets real. I mean, and that's one of the things I picked up from you and see that now. So it's always again, I just want to tell you that before we get even further. And definitely thanks, Mom, for everything and all the stuff you've done. Again, we weren't rich, but we always had everything we needed.
Yes, we did.
We moved around. I think the reason I'm well rounded is because we went from we were at Falstaff, with that area for a little bit. I forgot the name of that community, but we were there. Then we moved around by Park Heights. Then we moved around like by the Liberty Road, and so we you kept us away from how it really is in Baltimore. The East Side stuff.
Yes,
and
that was very important to me.
Yeah, and I'm really like thank you for that because it's no telling. What I could have been involved in. I was, of course, I hang out at my father's place, and I kind of was stray and get in things over there in dangerous situations, but I always went back to the West Side. So, I don't know how it is now, but this definitely was a good thing for me. And being able to, I can go into any situation. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter who is there. I'm confident in who I am. I can speak well to anybody, and that's one thing you can't do if you're. People say where you're from. Well, I'm from Baltimore. I'm like, all right, cool, but that's not what makes you. And that was attributed to you. That was attributed to you again for seeing that, being around it, and just wanting to do something different. And I'm pretty sure. I mean, now me being older, and now I remember things how you not talking bad about people, but I remember some of the situations we had growing up and different relatives. And now I'm older, I see how it is. We were just different. As far as mindset,
yes,
you were different as far as mindset, and
that was very important for me to make sure I put you all in the best opportunity. You're exactly right. From the time I got married, the very first home we lived in, apartment, whatever it was at the time, we were only ever about 5 minutes from the county line.
Right.
Even though it was still in Baltimore, and there was a time that we did actually live in the county, but I felt it important to live more on the outskirts of the county because it kind of had that same feel.
Right.
It was less, like you said, we can go to bed at night. We didn't have to worry about getting on the floor because bullets flying over our heads and things of that nature. And that was what was important to me. We paid a lot of money for wherever we lived at, but it was worth it. I mean, when you take living in the inner city, and you may have $500, $600 rent back in the day, and you might still can pay something like that today. But that goes with all the crime, the mice chasing you down, and rats, and I just did not want you all to grow up in that manner. And I attribute the fact of how we lived and where we moved a lot to not only your demeanor, all of their demeanors. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They do a lot of talking, but guess what? They live in those same type of areas. When they move, when Dominique and Dante and Devontae move, they move in the same type of areas they grew up in. Yeah. Because they're accustomed to our lifestyle. Mm. And I'm so grateful to that. So we had to pick out some good money for us to live the way we live, but what we never had to do. We never had to go back home. We
Mm-hmm.
never had to return back home to mama. That was something I prayed when I first got married, and I'm grateful that he never allowed me to have to return home. He blessed us with what we needed to be able to take care of y'all.
Right.
And that's to that I'm so grateful.
Yeah. Like again, it definitely is. It was a big thing. We again there were some trials and tribulations as always.
Absolutely.
It's life always. But again, you did a great job of because that's one thing what I think about right now is I got I got 80% from the military for my disability for the Iraq stuff and some stuff with my body and things like that. And the one thing that we talked about, they made me talk about my childhood, like everything that happened, all the stuff that went down, whatever. Because before they give you that rating, they have to see if you were messed up before. Because they're not going to give you they're not going to give you the rating if you had issues and everything. And he was like, honestly, most of the stuff I told him about, again, it's no point in bringing that stuff up here because it's past stuff and I don't want to dwell on that. What happened, from the first marriage. And but even from that, one thing, is I keep it real. And one thing is, he contacted me, your first husband, and I don't want to say, I don't want to bring up his name and everything just for, common courtesy.
Yeah, respect,
So he contacted me one day out the blue, and he was like, he was just saying sorry for everything, like sorry for this, sorry for that, and you know what, like there's definitely like that internal anger from some of the situations and things, being a child at the time and things you were going through, and I couldn't protect you because it felt like I needed to protect you or whatever. But he's a man, I'm a child at the time, and I couldn't offer that. But the one thing I did is I know he did some of his stuff, but also I as a grown man now I can recount some of the things I said to him, some of the things I did, and being a child, being a kid, and I say thanks for the offering that and everything, but also I want to apologize because I remember sometimes I said things. It was because my family filled my head with some things on the other side, my father's side, and they were like, yeah, we'll do this and we'll do that, and I didn't understand what they were talking about because they were like they didn't want him pretty much touching me, to be blunt.
And I understand that. I know. Right. I mean, I get that, and right. That was life then. Right. I even had to put that all under the blood.
Right.
Because I struggle with that. It's funny how when I just thought about some things that transpired then.
Real quick out there, I said touching guys up. I'm talking about no sexual, none of that stuff. Like I'm talking touching as in hitting. That's it. Like that. No, none of that. He never did anything like that. So guys out there who are watching in the family, no, I'm not even. I gotta make that clear in mind because it just goes out worldwide. So people touching this. They associate touching with sexual, stuff like that. So none of that ever happened in my household ever.
Exactly. Yes.
But
thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah.
And yeah, you kind of got, it's called displacement when you study psychology, and generally children tend to go through things because of what the adults are going through.
Right.
And to that was some of the things I would kind of be a little perturbed about, but I just thank God that you are so conscious. I always say, I'm so blessed to have you as my son because you just rebounded. Like you were already on the International Honor Society by 8th grade. That followed you all the way through high school. You ended up getting a full scholarship to go to the University of Maryland. Oh my God, so many children would never got that far with some of the things that you put up with,
Right.
And I know it was because of me, some of the things because of me, and some of that brunt should have came back on me. But again, men do it, women do it to their children. Men do it because we need a way to express it somehow, and unfortunately, the children get some of it, But to that, I'm just grateful to, even in spite of, you all made it out of that.
Right.
Things turned around. Y'all are all grown.
Mm-hmm.
Taking care of your families, all four of y'all. I'm so happy about that. And my biggest thing is just y'all being productive.
Right.
And you all are productive.
No, definitely. When I came
that's
back,
what's important to me. So I'm just all I do is rant and rave about my sons because y'all have truly made a difference Um, and to that, I'm just grateful.
Yeah, so that plays again. Like I'm gonna hit back on something. I wanted to finish up when my thought was about the first husband or whatever. Like even though like all that stuff went down, man, everything we know. I mean, I can remember everything vividly.
Absolute.
But the one thing too, he was still taking care of another man's child. You know what I mean? And that's one thing
Oh yeah, I
I
always
told
commend him for that.
and I
Yes,
told
he
him
did.
yeah, and I
Yes, he
told him that
did.
too. I said I was like I was
Yes,
like look man, because even though all that stuff happened, still there was some lessons learned. He would let me help out at the I guess he was doing the maintenance stuff at the thing, and he would I would do tool stuff and little stuff, and that's where I probably got my first mechanical thing with my hands. Like he would just like let me screw something back in or with a screwdriver. So and he had his tool bag always. I always used to rummage through that. They used to be in the closet, and and the one thing, like I said before, I remember one time vividly. I remember it was after work, and it was a situation where some domestic stuff went down in the house, and he had just got off work. And the thing is, now being a man, I know all the stuff when I leave out the house in the morning, and I say bye to the kids. All the stuff that happens between the time I'm gone and when I come back, they really never know about. I get back, and then she'll say something, my wife, and it'll trigger me or whatever. And she don't know I just got done dealing with a bunch of stupid people, to be honest, that are not, because everybody's not logical out here, for those who don't know. And I maybe said something, he was still in this work uniform, and something that I said or did or whatever maybe triggered him. And now I was like, look, man, some of this stuff was excessive, but some of the stuff, now being a man and dealing with the world, I understand what you were probably feeling at that time. You got bills due. You want to take care of the kids. You want to do this. You want to do that. You want to do your own leisure stuff as a man. And, again, now being a grown man, I understand more the psyche of what he was dealing with.
exactly. And a lot of it was based off every time something happened like that, and it would be like quarterly. It wasn't all the time.
Yeah, it wasn't.
To me, it was like we said, it's the bills due, it's that and that. Some people do that differently. He just it would bother him, so it would make him angry. Some people were like, okay, we're gonna get through this.
Right.
I can say with Derik, we get through it.
Right.
We come together as one, and as one we make it happen. He not fussing, I'm not fussing. We figure out what we need to do, and we do what we have to do. So, and I love that. I'm so grateful that God has given me enough opportunity to have somebody in my life, and we complement one another. It's very important we do that. So that's just important for me and him to be able to do something different. I don't know if you know, but Derik also come out of a marriage of over 25 years too.
Yeah.
So
we
have a lot of things in common, to say the least.
Yeah. So is he in the room now?
He is.
Okay. So Derik, like again, I don't know. Like we'll definitely talk. I look. If you want to come in the picture, like it's fine.
Said to come.
Yeah.
We represent Baltimore. No. You're representing Baltimore, Derik. Come on. He'll come in.
Yeah.
But
we never got a chance. Because the thing is, I was supposed to come home twice and everything, and with all this stuff going on right now, and the kids getting older,
I know. We was coming down there this year too. I told him we was actually going to come down and try to come down last year, but I got sick. I got sick with what I was going through, and that lasted pretty much the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I wanted to do the trip to Baltimore.
That's all good, man. Yeah, because it's ironic. You got the Oreo shirt on. I got this.
Yeah, I see him on his shirt said Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah, you booked me
messed up.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Derik? You got the can I hear you? Go to speaker? Okay, but yeah, it's again, Derik, again, man. One thing I got you here with my mom and everything. Again, just thank you for just taking care of my mom and helping her out with everything and all that stuff, man. Definitely. And I know you're probably military and everything. We'll definitely, I definitely look forward to meeting you and talking to you when we get there in person in Baltimore and everything with the family. I got my youngest is 7 months and everything. So I'm just, as they get older, we'll all come over there, visit you guys, meet you guys, and get to hang out and get to know each other. But again, man, I just want to express my sincere thanks because again, my mom has been through a lot, and in the past and everything, and I was kind of worried about her, to be honest, after the last marriage and all the stuff she went through, man. So just thanks for that. And then you're a Baltimore guy, and then she telling me the story. You guys pretty much were next to each other like the whole time growing up and didn't even know it. And that's kind of
how many years? Like 30. We went to the same elementary school.
Yeah.
We went to the same high school, and we met for the first time planning our 25th high school. So that's a long time, like over 35 years before we actually met each other in person.
Yeah, so I guess fate works like that. I mean, my wife my first wife only, and we met I moved to a house, and if I didn't move to that particular house, I would never met her and everything. So it's like, I guess fate works that way. But again, it's just great to see you rebound, because again, I remember everything that was going on after the last marriage, and you were kind of, your pictures got tossed out and things like that. And I was just, being over here, it's not much I can do from here and then growing my business and everything. So everybody assumes that the business owner is just like mega rich, and you don't make money until the first, after 10 years.
Yeah, it takes years. Exactly.
Right. And that keeps me, that's part of my aggression, because I won't lie, it's there. My PTSD stuff, and which guys will know about. I don't talk about the Iraq stuff too much, but when customers come my way and they want to bring BS, I'm like, look, man, we're going to cut this out right here. I got my family I want to do stuff with, and I got, of course, like you, Dominique, and all those guys, even Derik, I want to meet all the guys over there and everything. So I got a lot of stuff on my mind and everything I want to do. And again, that's, you guys are definitely on my mind. I don't forget anybody, and I don't want the family
we don't feel like you forgot us. You have your family there. You have your business there.
Yeah.
And we know that when you get where you got to get, and like you say, baby girl going to be one. And I'm just looking forward to just meeting. I met Faruqi, and I would like to meet I want to see them, looking forward to that. So.
Real quick, hey, Derik, in the military, what was your MOS?
I was a 63 Delta. I was in artillery. I supported artillery, and then I went back to school and became a 63 Whiskey, which was basically heavy wheel vehicle mechanic. So I basically worked on track vehicles and wheel vehicles.
Okay, so we definitely have a lot in common, man. Because I was 2T1, which is pretty much 88 Mike, same like pretty much the operator. So I didn't do maintenance in the military because they told me not to, because they started contracting out to they would take the cars to Jiffy Lube instead of getting the military guys to fix. So I don't know how the Army was, but the Air Force, man, they kind of, Air Forces run more like a corporate business more than
he working at the Air Force right now. He working at Andrews Air Force Base.
Shit, man. So you man,
how ironic.
I wonder is Chesney still there? He was an Army. He was an Army guy. I think his name was Chesney or something like that. He was a tall black guy. He was a senior master sergeant. He's probably long gone, man. But
I didn't get till 2015.
Oh yeah. That guy probably way. I hope.
Bowling Air Force Base in DC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's why I did the civilian career.
Okay. So in Andrews, did you work on the what side of the base did you work on? The maintenance side or the?
I'm on the LRS side. I'm on the east side.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I left there in 2008. And came to Japan and everything, but yeah, it was. But yeah, man, we'll definitely. I look forward to meeting you, man, like in person and just getting to talk with you, man. I just from the stuff my mom shared about you and everything. I feel like we have a lot of similar traits, even though you're a much older guy than myself, but you look young. You look like about 28 or so.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But
it's funny. I saw him when Derik get to talking, like he talking now.
Yeah.
But sometimes Derik the talking, he sounds just like you. I'm like, oh my God, you sound just like Donnie. Like I tell him, it's like y'all got this tone. I'm like, wow, it's crazy.
I think it's the the military. It does. It's something. I mean, he knows. I know. It's like when I was at Andrews. You guys didn't understand why I wasn't coming home every weekend, and why, even though I was right on the, I was 20 minutes away from Baltimore. It's a lot of, we do more between 0600 and 1200 than most people do in a whole week, and that's one day.
We know.
And
we know.
And there's a lot of stuff going on there. I drove generals, so I was always on call for the generals, and so I was always out. But and also I was I was still I was street racing at the time too. So I don't do that anymore.
You did who funeral did you do?
President Ford's.
Ford. He did Ford. Yeah. He did Ford funeral.
Yeah, that was
everybody did.
Yeah, man. That It was a joint. It was the first time I worked with Marines and Army guys, and it was
He
pretty
was
cool.
saying,
Yeah.
Donnie was like, "Mom, this do not look like it look on TV."
Yeah. Well, the one thing is because we rehearsed it, like it was rehearsed. Everything was like it wasn't like we rehearsed for almost 2 weeks up to the day, and everything went perfect. But like we were standing there, you got to hold the salute for like 10, 20 minutes, and they do the cannons and everything. And then at the time I was about 200. I was playing football, so I was big. So my coat was like supposed to be up with your wrist like here, but it was like down here because my muscles were like, and I was losing circulation because I'm holding it. My salute is going like this, and I'm trying to hold it up, and the TV's there. It was so it was like, I'm on national TV, so it's like you definitely don't want to pass out, because people do fall out from standing at parade rest and everything. So yeah, man. But Derik, where did you go to AIT and everything? Where did you go to basic or boot camp?
I did basic training in Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Kentucky?
Yeah, Fort Knox. And then I did my AIT in Aberdeen Proving Grounds.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I was... Yeah, man, I'm pretty sure you remember just how many years you did when you were in?
Did 5.5 years.
5.5. Same. I did 6. I got out. Yeah. I was gonna do 20. Were you gonna do 20 at first, or you decided to only cut it short?
I was like just freestyling. I wasn't thinking about. It was all about the adventure.
Yeah.
I had kids at the time, my first wife.
Right.
That kind of changed the game a little bit, because now you got to think. You're a family man now.
Right.
When I was single, you want to jump out of airplanes and put out fires, and then you get married, you start thinking like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You can't volunteer for everything. And I ended up at Fort Bragg, which is that's home of the airborne. So everybody on Fort Bragg is crazy.
Right.
Whether they jump out of airplanes or not, and they always got these special operation missions and all that drama going on. So yeah, it was a unique experience.
Yeah.
But no regrets.
Yeah. No doubt. Same thing here. I don't, if it wasn't for my career, I wouldn't be here in Japan. I kind of used it because I learned about 3 years in, I got a good all my supervisor was good, but this supervisor was he was retiring. So he's kind of one of those guys, as he's going out, he's giving you all the guys, like all the gyms and everything, how it really is. And he's like, hey, man, he was like, dude, they're going to use you, so definitely use them and get all you can get out of the military system. And, I linked up with some generals, got to Japan, and I just did that, man. And I got more into racing. I was already doing it for 8 years before I came here. And now it's been 20 years that I've been doing car stuff. And I was like, hey, man, I'm going to stay here, try to see how I gave myself 10 years. And, within 3 years, I opened my shop, and the rest is history. But I definitely used the military just as much as they used me, and I got stuff out of it. So and my career wasn't bad. I got out. After about my third deployment, something changed instantly. And I was like, man, I'm not dedicating another 15 years of my life to this. When I kind of seen how it was really going and what it was really about, and how you're just another number on paper to me. To them, and that's what I started feeling like and everything. And also the PTSD after I got hit by IED. My truck got hit by IED, my M915, and nothing happened there. But just thinking about what could have happened and all my missions. Right. I was man. After I got back to my last deployment, the day before the earthquake in Japan, we got back, and rolled right into that. Didn't even in process for 2 weeks. So we were still belonged to the desert, and then we got back, and we all kind of salty from the desert, and we dealing with guys who ain't never been to the desert, and they asked me about this and that. I'm like, look, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get out, because I felt myself like not caring, and when I felt like that, I was like, I gotta go, because the machine ain't gonna change for us, and
right.
So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and get out while it's honorable, and my leadership was they were a little. They ducked deployments, and they were fat boys and everything, and trying to preach to us about warrior ethos and all this crap. And I'm like, dude, you never been to Iraq, you never had boots on the ground, you never stuff like that. So I got out honored with honorable discharge, and as an E5, I missed E6 by 1-2 points. And I know
that feeling.
Yeah. And I didn't. Thing is, I didn't even study, and I know the Army is better because you guys got PT on the board. We got. The Air Force is testing. That's it. There's no points or nothing else other than your. I got a few Army ARC arms, 3, and some other stuff, and that's the only thing we get points from testing and your rack. That's it. There's no other.
Right.
So that sucked right there. What was your rank, by the way, when you got out?
I got out as an E4 promotable because I got I'm a Desert Storm veteran, so
Okay.
I did a board in the field for E5.
Yeah.
And I missed that by probably 4 or 5 points.
Ah, man.
I mean, I did good, but I wanted to max it out.
Yeah.
But I missed maxing it out by like 4 or 5 points, and one of them sergeant majors he had it out for me because
Yeah.
I mean we were in a field situation. You know, they kicked me off the board the first time. It's a funny story.
Yeah.
They kicked me off the board the first time because I was out of uniform.
Oh, man.
But I mean, we're out in the desert. We you know, we're in a combat situation, wherever, you know, and I went to my first sergeant, and she was like, "What happened?" I said, "They kicked me off the board because I was supposed to be in desert uniforms, but all my desert uniforms are unserviceable."
Right.
So she told me to put on the OD green. But they kicked me off the board, so she went in there, and I don't know what she said. Told me I wasn't there. I go back in there, but I think one of them sergeant majors really had it in for me. So
Yeah.
you have it. But you know, I didn't go in for rank and all of that. It was more adventure, you know, and it kind of got dangerous at times, you know.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean, you really don't realize it until after the fact, and then you just you know what I'm saying. So yeah.
So my mom, I don't want to we ignore mom now and everything, but because you know I don't talk a lot to people, man. So I'm really excited to talk to you and everything. We'll do it again. And definitely look forward to coming in. But as far as the like I said, your career and all that stuff you got in, did you get like your VA rating and all that stuff set up or?
Oh yeah, I've been dealing with VA since '92. I got out in '90. Well, yeah, I'm an old dog when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And so I got a lot of experience. That started with my father. He's the Vietnam era, and that he got sick unexpectedly, and we got him in the system. He came back from Vietnam. He was angry. Never went through VA.
Right.
Come to find out, when my father passed in '03, I think it was, cancer from Agent Orange.
Right.
And you know, and he was 100% disabled by the time he was already in the system. He had already passed on. So he didn't take advantage of getting what was due to him being in combat. My father was in first infantry division in Vietnam, and came back home angry back in the '60s. You know, it was a different time for him. Back then. He was very angry. And my mom always said that Walter Reed always, not Walter Reed, excuse me, what's a hospital in D.C.? I can't think of it right now.
It's not Walter Reed?
Yeah, Walter Reed, yes. VA and Walter Reed, because they want him to come do the psychological exams and all of that stuff. He never went. Never went. My father walks into VA. He's stage 4 cancer. My older sister and I were dragging him in there. He damn near kicking and screaming, and just to get him in the system. You know, my dad, he was in the streets. He was alcoholic and stuff, you know, and that's the best we could do for him. And, you know, and he was in the system the whole time. He just did not take the initiative to go on himself. His life could have been totally different.
Yeah, man. That's
you know, so I had to learn. Yeah, I had to learn that lesson for myself for the issues that I have being Desert Storm. So I have to be persistent. They dragging me out, but it's okay. I got patience.
Yeah, man. It's that's the one thing, because I got out 2012 is when I got out, and I didn't actually submit mine until 2017. Like I wrote, because I just my thing is the stuff we went through over there and the things you see is like, you know, like, I mean, I don't want to speak for your dad, man, you know, but you know he made it out of there. And I'm pretty sure he lost a lot of buddies. And my thing, because I lost some buddies too, was like you feel like, hey man, I made it out. I got all my fingers and toes. I'm good. And that's how I felt. And then I talked to a guy who was a E9, and he's like, dude, you're being stupid, man. You earned that. You definitely earned it because you did 3 tours, OIF, and OEF. So go ahead and do the thing. And I got 80% right away, man. I didn't act. I went in there, I put my stuff on the table and said, I'm claiming this. I don't need to double questions. Just ask me the questions. And the guy shook my hand and we got started. Because the guy was like, hey man, you know, claim erectile dysfunction because they're not going to test you right there. And I was like, you just said, and he's like, all right, cool, 10%. And I'm like, nah, man, you know, I'm gonna put this down because they're gonna make me go to the hospital, and maybe somebody got it tested or whatever. But yeah man. So I got 80%. and I might try for 10% more for my knees because I didn't go for my knees, and but that it was good timing, I guess, with whatever going on. My thing from submitting to getting my check was 6 months.
Right, so that's pretty good. It's a lot longer now.
So. Yeah, man. So it's definitely good. Now, the reason I kind of bring that up because you're a vet, I'm a vet, and then mom, like you're so I didn't know your dad was Vietnam. I'm just meeting you and everything. You're Desert Storm. So between the three of us, man, you done been through pretty much all the wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's the one thing is. I'm pretty sure when we meet in person, man, we'll really connect and everything. On a camera is a little bit different, but being that it's some things that we don't even have to. We already know, man. When you get off the plane the first time in the desert, that smell, the feeling, the sand, all that stuff is something that only guys like yourself and myself be able to relate to. And then even after you come back from Iraq, 3 months later, it's still sand in your sinuses. When you come back home, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, when you blow your nose and sand comes out of your nose because it's like it's buried that deep up in there, and unless you get it cleaned out, none of us did that. But you just feel like you're constantly you got a stuffy nose, and then you just blow your nose and all that sand and grit and stuff comes out of there. And I don't know how long you've been in there, but and that's one thing I got issue with too is I get this dry hacking cough at times. From the burn pits, and the sand and the, not wearing the mask and everything. It really, so, I didn't claim that. So.
Are you part of the burn pit registry?
Yeah. I got.
Okay. I am too.
Yeah. So I got that. The depleted uranium. I was around. We were actually playing on the tanks that they blew up and we didn't know. And it was like, hey man, you guys touched those tanks. And we all said no, but it was like, yeah, dude, those things got, like when they blew up, all the stuff come out, the reactors come out the insides and everything, get all over. Right. So yeah, we was around all that, man. The depleted uranium, the burn pits, the dead animals, dead people, and so I'm worried about. Man, when I had my first kid, I was worried because I didn't, my first kid, I didn't know, baby shake when they first come out. So I'm like, oh man, come on, dude, don't, and it was like, no, he's just cold. So he was like shaking and everything. I'm like worried, So I'm worried about all the stuff I've been around, and all my kids are healthy so far. No, so we worry about that, man. And I hope all your kids are healthy as well, because I know we're definitely around things, and your dad had been around Agent Orange, and also the P tabs and all that stuff they give us. Yeah. So. Yeah, they fed us a lot of stuff and everything, man. But hey, man, again, sorry about that, man. We just kind of left you there hanging and everything. But that's what war vets do.
I get it from him too. I get it from him too. So I got the son, I got my husband now, so I'm used to it. I'm used to all the things that go with that lifestyle.
Yeah, but hey, man, we'll definitely because this is. I mean, I'm 37. There's way too much for us to cover in one podcast. What I was thinking about doing is just have this split into parts and everything. We only got into like the beginning of everything and introduced. So this is going to be a Lisa and Derik podcast because you pretty much been in it the whole half of it now and everything. And Derik, is your first time being on YouTube?
Yes, I believe so.
All right, so just be sure to share it around and everything to the people who wants to put it out. This will probably air like sometime maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, sometime like that if I edit it and everything. But yeah, man, like I said again, Derik, we man, never met you before, but that's that instant vibe that only people who've been in those situations can get. Even if you're military, mom, what you don't understand, mom, is about the military. There's military, and then even in the military, there's a bunch of, no matter what branch, but there's a bunch of sub groups in the military, because there's people who don't deploy, there's people who deploy, and there's guys who act like they deployed or they went to like LUD or something like that, and talk about war stories when they're inside of a base and they got Wi-Fi and they ain't in a deployment. You know what I'm saying? So it's I was boots on ground. Yeah, I'm recalling what the Fobbits or whatever when they just or Pogue. So yeah, man, it's a difference in there and everything, and I'm good. I mean, I got my issues. My one of my biggest issues overall is just the lack of patience for people who complain about stupid stuff. When again, I was in Iraq and getting hit by IEDs, mortars hitting us while we sitting here and all this stuff. And it's like, man, look, I made it through that, 3 years of that, and so this situation is not that important. And that's what a lot of people, they just make small situations big. When
Yeah, and it come
yeah,
from your it do come with your experience. I remember when I did come down there, you could kind of get a little riled up sometime.
yeah,
And I remember telling you, say, calm down, be a little bit patient.
yeah.
Um, and I knew I was like, okay, it'll get
Well,
better.
well, you
But
talking about my wife, because she was, they don't know, like, again, even before Iraq and all that stuff. I grew up in Baltimore, so again, before I got to Iraq, I already had that kind of thick skin from that, and then when I got to Iraq, you could see people who wouldn't react. Guys who were really badass in training. When it got time to IEDs and stuff going off, those guys would freeze, and then I would react. And I've always watched war movies, and I was like, man, what'll happen if I'm in a situation? And when I first got hit by my first IED, man, I was actually honestly falling asleep because it was boring. And that was the first vehicle on the road. I was the LVC for the convoy. This was my second year, and I'm trading an Army guy because we were doing right seat, left seat. And I'm kind of, we 8 hours into the drive. It's pitch black, dark. We're the first vehicle, so there's no lights. There's just blackness. And IED goes off, low-grade IED go off, hit the truck, pepper it up. But we got the level 3 armor, so it didn't even pierce it, because back when I got there in 07, it was calming down. Though it wasn't as hot as it was before. And EFPs were coming out, so EFP IED was EFP is a shape charge. So it makes like a shape, and it really messes stuff up. We had a few guys die from that. So when I got there, I was falling asleep, and the IED blows up, and then I set up. We had this thing called MTS. You hit the 911 on it. It tracks the GPS data. When you get to the next fob, you send it up to the Pentagon and everything. So, and then getting mortared, getting in situations where we were ambushed. I mean, Mom, a lot of stuff happened that I never talked to you about. But if I could count on my hands, probably maybe, at least 20 to 30 situations where they were like life and death, like getting shot at and even get shot at by your friends. That happens out there too, by mistake. So we had Marines shooting at us by mistake, and they can't ID us. Marines, they can ID us. They just wanted to shoot at somebody. So Marines, Derek know about that. The Marines just a little bit, they just want to shoot anything. So my first time getting shot at was by Marines. My first time on the fire came from friendly forces. And, he was like, oh, we can't see you guys and everything. So anyway, a lot of stuff happened. Again, I was saying about Shinobu. She never been to anywhere outside of Japan. So anything small, she sees it as a big issue. When I'm like, look, man, it's not there. And that's why I got angry.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it happens. So I'm not crazy or anything like that. It's just.
No, I never. Nope, that's not whatever.
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of be a little bit more understanding.
Yeah.
For that cultural piece, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Get used to a culture like you get used to her. So.
Yeah, because I remember she was crying and you were like consoling her. I was like, she cries about anything, so it was like
that's okay. That was my place. I wanted her to like it. I wanted her to be okay.
Yeah.
Because to me, it was like the cultural difference.
Yeah.
And you could be a little bit forceful sometimes. Your response or your reaction could be kind of forceful sometimes. So it's like, calm down a little bit. Just calm it down. It was a learning curve. It just go with, y'all was still, together for all of a year or so when I met you. So I know y'all was together longer, but by the time I met you, so, not her.
But all good. Yeah, it's all good, man. Again, I got my security camera so and this guy is pulled up and everything. So, man, we'll definitely, we'll do this again. We definitely got to get into this again and everything. I hate to rush you off, but I'm already over my schedule.
Oh, no, great
by
time.
2 minutes.
We've been here almost an hour.
Yeah, it goes fast. When you get it, you said 30 minutes, but when I start getting into the podcast, it flows because it's not an interview. It's just we're talking. So that's why a lot of guys when they get on the podcast, they feel like as an interview is like a answer. It's like a very awkward thing and everything.
Exactly.
But again, man, thanks for the time, Derek. Again, man, thanks for your time and thank you for your service from service member to service member, because I know the hurry up and wait, the waiting in lines, MREs, all that stuff, man. I know it don't matter. Back to the Roman. If you're in a Roman army. The army and the military is the same thing, man. You got leaders, you got the guys on boots on the ground, and that's that same cycle over and over since the beginning of time. So, I know we got an instant connection, man. So again, I look forward to meeting you in person, talking to you, meeting your kids, and everybody meeting your family. I've been away honestly almost 15 years total from Baltimore. I came back that one time in October, but that was only for like 2 days, and I left back out. Yeah, it was a covert mission. I didn't put it on Facebook. I just kind of came in and out. Yeah, it was.
In and out. Got his license, went back, all in 5 days or something like that.
Yeah. So it was all good and everything. But again, man, thanks. We'll do this again. I'll let you know.
Okay.
And guys are there again. This is going to be definitely part one of many. We can't get the whole life into this time frame and everything. I got a guy waiting outside, so I got to get out of here. But again, send your questions to podcast@pinkostar.com. And definitely, man, out there, talk to your parents out there. Again, I got my dad out there. He's still doing it. Same thing he's doing. So I'm gonna talk to him, and he's getting older and everything, and stuff like that. So we still in contact, but it's you know my dad. You know how he is.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, so he's still the same Mo, and I'll get with him and talk to him and everything. But again, guys, thanks for your time. I'll see you again soon, and just be safe over there, and I'll be talking to you. All right.
Okay. Love you.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, man. All right. Later. Thanks, Derik. And again, guys, out there, thanks for the podcast. Again, I'm sorry I had to kind of cut it off abruptly because I had a guy out there that was just waiting for about like 10 minutes. And again, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to send your questions to podcast@pinkostar.com regarding anything. It doesn't have to be, you guys know I'm doing car stuff, but I'm bigger than that. I have a lot more skills and mind traits and things like that. I can weigh in on different things. So send any questions regarding to anything that you think I deal with, or whatever. If I don't do it, I want to answer it. But again, thank you guys for tuning in for this podcast. This is episode number 50 with my mom, and a lot more to come. So a lot more guests lined up and everything. So again, out there, guys, take care, be safe, be smart. Don't be afraid, but be smart. Be smart with your surroundings. Just take care of the hygiene, stuff like that, and to stay, safe of all the stuff going on. That way, when all the stuff blows over, we can return back to normal life. Because we need to be back to normal life, because this style of living for for countries that are developed, this is not normal. Third world, whatever, that's all they know. They don't have any options. But for developed countries, businesses, everything, we got stuff to do. We want to take care of our families and things like that. So guys out there, again, just be safe, and see you again. So it's going to be Donald signing off for Pinku Style, Masao, Japan. See you guys later.